Whoa, friends.
Whoa.
Just hanging out. Right? That's what we're doing. We're just hanging out.
Oh, now your mic is adjusted. I was just hearing you drown in music for a moment.
Yeah, it should be. There we go. How about now? Hello, everyone.
Very
Welcome
good.
back
Johnny is muted.
to the professionals. Dustfire Media Scum and Villainy actual play. I'm Justin. These are my players. You know us
Hello.
from other things, mostly Dustfire Media stuff.
Mostly this.
Mostly this. It's pretty much just this.
You know us from this, right? Yeah. So we're the same people that did this.
Remember that time you saw us in this? Here we are.
Here we are. Same people.
We are continuing. That might
still
even be
here.
the word for it.
Still here. I have a question for you all, which is this. It's gonna start off. You're gonna laugh because the scenario starts off saying it's Sunday, and it is also Sunday today. So just imagine with me, it's like later in the day today on a Sunday. You aren't expecting any visitors. You're just kind of like sitting in your house. No deliveries, no mail, no visitors are coming, and there's a knock on your door. Would you be more surprised to find a fairy or a walrus on your doorstep?
Still a fairy.
Still the fairy?
Yeah.
Really?
So, would we be more surprised to find a fairy or a walrus at our door on a Sunday?
Yeah.
And I'm semi-familiar with this question, so I have had time to think about it. And it's not because people accuse it of like, well, so you just don't believe in fairies, so you think it's more surprising. No. I don't believe in fairies, but also, even if they did exist, it's more surprising that they just happened to come to visit me, given the
On a
lore that
Sunday?
I know about fairies on a Sunday, for any reason. So, still more surprised about the fairy.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm of the walrus camp.
I mean, neither
I am-
exists, right? We could agree on that.
Walrus.
Yes,
Yeah,
walruses
neither
and
exists.
fairies are fake.
They are fantasy creatures.
My argument, and this is what I've seen, and I'm of this camp, that I feel like if I saw a fairy, the modus operandi would be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know fairies existed. But that's it. Like, it would just be a very quick, like, oh, I guess fairies exist. I'm still kind of surprised that you're at my doorstep, but like, I guess fairies exist. But if a walrus was just out at my door, I'd be like, how did you get here? Where did you come from? What is happening right now?
So the
I feel like-
implausibility for you is the walrus making it to you, given that it's a walrus,
Correct.
not this other thing making it to you, given that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I feel like there'd be more hoops I'd have to go through to explain why a walrus is at my doorstep than to just be like, oh, I guess fairies exist.
Yeah, I didn't know they existed. I suspected. Here they are.
And now that
But
yeah,
once they exist, easily they can travel to my doorstep. Now, walruses, on the other hand, this is preposterous.
Maybe I'm alone in
did you
this, but
get
I
here?
feel like I would just assume that someone had put the walrus there.
Human intervention. Yeah, this is intelligent design theory again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be
Oops,
more.
Never mind. No one put the walrus there.
no,
No one- I don't infer that an intelligent explanation is the best one. I prefer
I'd
chaos.
definitely be more surprised at the fairy. 'Cause if it were a walrus, I'd just be like, oh, it's you again. And so then,
You again.
it's you again. You have like a what is it? Doesn't Peter have that like fight with the chicken all the time?
The chicken nemesis, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had my fair share of dealings with Walry.
Wal Reese.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure it's walrus.
If we're gonna make stuff up, my vote goes for Walroo.
Well, it doesn't even matter. They're fantasy creatures, anyways.
I
I
was
don't
just going to say
understand.
the exact
Yeah.
same thing. It's wild, actually.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Johnny and I continue to be the same person. It's very disconcerting.
I guess we've never seen them in the same room together.
It's
Well,
true.
when they meet in person, a rift is going to open up to compensate for the universal forces at play. And
Or-
it's probably going to generate either a walrus or a fairy.
Or
We'll
a
see.
fairy. My argument is that when they meet in person, they'll both turn into one half of an ancient locket that right, like they were split into two parts at their birth and separated. And
All of a sudden, an ancient god with treacherous powers is birthed back into the
it's
world.
birthed back.
Neither Nick nor Johnny are like bothered. They're just like, oh, I'm fully aware of my existence now that we are complete.
Yeah,
This was a mistake.
There you go.
Gen Con was a mistake.
God was a mistake. Oh no.
Well, everybody, we look forward to Gen Con. We're going to see
completing the ritual.
Johnny and Nick become a god.
Ancient chthonic god. Fun. Steve, did you say walrus or fairy? You were just making fun of me. And
You know,
don't-
I was.
don't
And I think
care.
that was the most important thing, rather than my opinion.
Honestly, though.
For sure.
The
For
most
sure.
important.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna go. I'm
Leave?
gonna head out.
Is that the takeaway? I didn't realize I was sending this message. I'm sorry. Steve, the vibes I'm getting indicate to me I should leave right now.
I guess I'll just go. No, I suppose that I should GM Scum and Villainy for the four of you.
That would be nice.
Please?
All right. I wrote some cool stuff today, so I kind of
Ooh,
Heck yeah.
Justin.
Because you guys completed a job last episode. You completed a very action-packed, balls to the walls job. That might have been that one, and I think the one in the underground ice research facility. Those two have been so far the ones that I'm like, are they gonna make it out of this?
And the answer is usually no, we are not, and then we do,
Well, yeah, it's like,
and that's a good story.
It's looking like you're not gonna do it, and then you pull it out at the end there. Incredible job to the four of you. Great choices. Loved Lido and Gears helping the ritual complete. I think that's very fun. But you escaped out from under the thumb of the Church of the Stellar Flame with the Ashtari Cult's chosen one, having completed his ritual on the ancient stone tower revealed in the shattered moon of Gap. You did it. You escaped. You're safe.
Yes,
Nothing can hurt us now.
You're
That's
invincible.
right. I think we can retire.
You could if you want to. I don't think anyone has anything in their vault though, so you're gonna live pretty terrible lives.
I think yours
Aw.
does.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually. So there's three tiers, and you have to have a decent amount to get to tier 2. I think you're all still in that squalor tier,
Yeah.
whatever it's called. Let's. You can also. I should say this too. You can pull up character sheets.
Is there anything we have to do, like mechanically, to move our cred to our stash, or do we just move it when we want to?
No, you just move it. You can move it when you want to. Yep.
Yeah, I literally just didn't have any room for some credit at one point, so I just put it in there.
Yeah, I think you can only hold up to 4 cred on your person.
Yep.
Anything after
yeah.
that either has to be spent or put into your stash.
Well, now I have some stash. Also,
See, we're making
Take that.
progress.
I'm ready to retire with the 1 cred in my stash.
And it's 1-to-1, right? Or is it 2-to-1, Justin? When you move from cred to stash?
No, moving from cred to stash is 1-to-1, but if you try to pull it out, you have to do 2 stash for 1 cred.
Dang! So you
That's
gotta
what
be
loses
careful. It's like
Yeah.
early withdrawal on a Roth IRA, boy.
It's exactly what it is.
That sucks, dude. Only
Yeah.
save when you're ready.
Yeah,
Don't
we're
mess with the
contributing
bank.
to our Roth IRA, man.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'll put some savings in my Roth then. Here we go. I now have 2 stash.
Oh, okay, all right.
Whoa.
It's what usually you're gonna do it during downtime, right? Like it's not like you're in a job
On
you're
a
like,
mission,
let me
and
just
I'm like,
hold up.
Good job. I gotta call
I
my
need to
bank.
fund my Roth.
Hang on.
Hang on, I gotta call the
Hang on here.
bank.
Things are
Stop
going
shooting. I
badly.
gotta
Can
call
I
the bank.
fund my Roth and change my beneficiaries. All right, his name isn't Lido Bartok. It turns out it's Thorn. Praxis Thorn. Social
Very
security number.
Very funny. Well, we got to. I think you still have to deliver the past one back to Ermac Theon,
Mhm.
and I think you all were promised a vision as well.
Delightful.
A delightful vision.
Well,
so
Yeah.
Now, if I'm
Whatever you
understanding the
prefer, Ken.
visions correctly, they're going to like have the vision and communicate it to us, right? Or are we going to be the ones having the vision?
no. They said. I think you had said that, and he said no. He can give you a piece of the vial of the Ashtari cloud, and you can partake in it and have your own vision.
Yo, let me
So
partake in
excited.
that cloud.
Yeah. We'll do that because I feel like there's going to be some personal information that may not want to be shared with the whole group in some of these visions. So that seems better to me. And the reason why is because when they're taking this concoction, it's their ancestors that they're seeing. So
Right.
they would
right.
only be able to see their own ancestors. They wouldn't be able to see your ancestors. So let's just cut to returning the past one. I think that makes the most sense.
Just thinking about how very Leto it would be of Leto to like get his vision and just narrate the whole thing out loud while it's happening.
As it's happening. There are the closest place where they told you to return him is actually they have a base on one of the moons around Nightfall. One of the 13 moons around Nightfall. And that is where they told you to bring the past one back.
And that, as it happens, is exactly where we bring him.
Incredible. I'm glad you picked up on the very explicit notes I was laying down about where to go next. You get there. It's they're not a very they're not a state sanctioned cult, so they don't have any a ton of money. It's a pretty bare bones base, but it is big enough because this is their headquarters. It is, though, on a side of the moon that is also constantly covered up by one of the other 12 moons. So it's completely dark on this side. It's how they kind of remain under detection a little bit. So, yeah, you bring it back, and I'm picturing one of those. I don't know if you played Mass Effect 1.
Yeah.
But there are oftentimes those big metal bases on some of those planets. That's what I'm picturing, just this giant, massive, metal box, basically, that you're bringing him to. And you walk up, and they actually knew you're coming, so Ermac Theon is waiting outside for you. He's like, "Oh, hello. See, you've been successful. Yes, we know you were successful. We saw the light."
You saw it from here?
This is where it came to. Yes.
Oh,
All of the moons around Nightfall.
cool.
Leto, who's not good at math, starts trying to map trajectories in his head.
Gears is already that's not how light works. It's just assuming that this is some weird magic stuff.
Well, I mean, you two felt it. In the ritual, you knew that whatever this was went to Nightfall, into the moons around Nightfall.
That's fascinating.
How did it go? Did you encounter much resistance from the church?
Enough, but nothing we couldn't take care of. After all, we are professionals.
Wonderful. I came to the right group. Yes. Please come in. It is cold out here.
Thank you.
Actually.
Now, first things first, there is the matter of payment.
Yes, of course. It is. Yes, I have 6 cred waiting for you in here.
Yeah.
As well as I was able to procure a little bit of extra ash of our concoction that helps us connect to our ancestors. I believe each of you wanted one, yes?
I'm always open to new experiences.
Yeah, we'll give it a try.
Don't see any harm in it.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's just in here. And he leads you into, like, just a meeting room. Passes over 6 cred to you. And then pulls out it's like one of those things scientists have with the test tubes in them. There's 4 test tubes basically that have this like glittering concoction inside of it. It's like not quite viscous but not quite vapor. It's like somewhere in between air and viscous.
It's like cotton candy.
Kind of like metal infused cotton candy.
I was going for like a confused lava lamp. You know what I mean? Like you look at it, and you're like, oh, it's a lava lamp. Oh wait, no, that's gas. No, it's not again. It's something.
It's what is it? So that's what I'm envisioning too a little bit more.
I'm down. If something can't decide what state of matter to be, I'm eating it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Oobleck really gets Steve going.
Non-Newtonian, put it in me.
As he's passing it over, he says, if this is your first time, I imagine it is, it's quite a rush. You might see a specific moment or two from an ancestor through their eyes. You might see it from above them. You might just see flashes of their life. It's hard to tell. You might even get lucky and see all 3 of those.
Marvelous.
We have a space if you'd like to sit and take it. It can be consuming the first time.
Always good to have a safe room.
Yes, is there any
The
reason
memories
to after you, Graves?
The memories of our ancestors.
Yes. What about them?
They're in us.
Yes. Memories are in everyone.
So I will see my people.
Yes. Yes.
Graves nods
Obviously.
and holds it a little closer to his chest.
Obviously, Graves has never played Assassin's Creed. That's why he doesn't know this.
Yeah.
What is that, Havoc?
Hey, it's
It's just one of the old VR games from
yes.
the core worlds. Can't believe you never played it. It's quite fun. You have as you're walking to the lounge where you could take it. You pass by like a room and like there's a bunch of Ashtari Cult members and they just have VR headsets on playing games.
That's all the Abstergo logo, just like shining on the side.
I'm just catching up with books.
Oh, I don't understand.
When I'm done with books, I will consider these games.
There are quite a lot of books.
Once I've read all books.
You know, there are many books that are tie-ins to games. We can maybe bridge the gap that way.
Yes. In fact, hang on. He goes into the library and comes
Oh
back
my
with
God.
an Assassin's Creed tie-in book.
There are like 45 of them.
I know.
Yeah.
This book is a game?
No, this book is based off of a game.
It's confusing too, because there are books that are games.
I don't like this. Graves refuses the book and continues into the room.
Awkwardly takes it back, puts it back in the library. Yes, here. Please feel free to sit. When you're done, I'm happy to converse further if you'd like. Otherwise, you have done your job. You've returned the past one back to us, and now begins the real work of the Ashtari Cult. We thank you for your help.
Of course. please consider us in the future for any of your well-paying needs.
Yes, of course we will.
All right, gentlemen. Shall we partake?
Let's go.
Should one of us wait as a guide or just trust the cult and all go at the same time?
All right.
Sounds good enough to me. And I just pop the vial.
Gears is the same.
I will say, Havoc, I'm not planning to be like, ha, and they rob you blind while you're like, that's.
I know.
All right.
But Havoc's the more so the reason of Havoc waiting is because like he sees them all take it, and we see him like clutching the vial and looking at it, because he's never once thought about his family. Nonetheless, like his ancestors, he has no idea who they are.
Yeah,
he was found by
Maris.
Yeah. And so he's like, I wonder. He's like really like maybe not so much worried, but maybe there's a little bit
Of hesitancy,
there
for sure.
Is it conceivable, Havoc? Like, are you really masking right now, or is it conceivable that Graves would detect some uncertainty in you?
I think Graves is a pretty observant individual, and I think you would notice that hesitancy.
Havoc, are you all right? Graves is still hanging on to his vial before drinking it.
You know, it's always like to think twice before I take an unknown substance from a cult.
Is that right?
Just in the corner, like.
I can watch and keep guard if you want to go.
Sure about that?
There's plenty of time for all of us.
All right. Well, bottoms up. And Havoc will, you know.
Yep, like a cartoon.
Drinking that good old non-Newtonian stuff. It's confusing.
Oh yeah.
Get it in me.
Oh, well, if Graves isn't taking it,
I think Graves just delays it for a while to see that the others are okay.
okay, and they are.
So yeah, what do I see? They just like
floating up, we got floating.
No, they're not floating. They just
You're
kind of
just
like
climbing on the ceiling.
the head spins around.
The projectile green vomit.
Oh no!
Graves, and then Ermac
All of our
Theon
limbs
goes,
turn the wrong direction. We start
Yeah.
scuttling at you.
Ermac Theon's like, no, this is normal. This is what it's supposed to do. It's fine.
Then why are you saying it's fine?
Write it out,
Really,
baby.
it's rough at the beginning. It's rough at the
Yeah,
beginning.
write it out, baby.
Let it out, baby.
No, they kind of sink into their chairs, Graves, and their eyes turn white, and occasionally you can see just like jolts of what almost look like electricity, just kind of arcing off their skin and back on.
Wow.
Like not too far off, but just like just a touch.
Yeah. I just want to take a quick look around the room
Sure.
for any signs of threat before I go under.
Yeah, I will tell you there's nothing. You
Yeah.
are a well-trained warrior. You would be able to pick up on things. There's nothing
Yeah.
in this room that would cause you for concern.
Yeah, after Graves kind of settles in for a moment and sees that the others aren't dead, he ingests his non-Newtonian stuff.
Wonderful. And I think the camera like would stay on Graves, right, as he takes this and sinks in, and then the camera just like zooms quickly into the whites of your eye. And Graves, you are now looking out at a planet, a battlefield on fire. You can see the backs of these tall, humanoid-looking creatures. They look like humans, but they're like 7 or 8 feet tall. They're just fleeing from this vision. They're fleeing away from where you're standing. And then you look down, and you are holding a greatsword that is completely comprised of black metal, except for these like innately carved ruins etched along the center of the blade going up to the tip. And you kind of toss it in your hands for a moment and then catch it and then lift it up in the air. And from behind you, chasing after these humanoid figures, you see an army of Ramden. And as the camera like starts to, not the camera. Well, yeah, now you're not looking to the eyes. We sort of like the camera pulls back, and we see the back of this Ramden. He's wearing black obsidian armor. He's holding the sword up into the air. He's got horns that are coming out, jutting from beneath this obsidian wreath around his head. He's got a long black cape on. And as the camera just continues to pan back, you see now there are more spots throughout this entire planet of Ramdens just slaughtering these long humanoid figures. And the camera sees in the far, far distance another tower, as ornately designed as the one you just came from. And you see all around the ground and all up through the tower, it's almost as though they're gemstones that are just littered throughout the ground here and the tower as it climbs up. And then it stops, and now you're no longer seeing through a vision. You're seeing just a number of flashes. You're seeing flashes of what can only be described as an empire of Ramden spread throughout the Procyon sector. And a war, battle after carnage after carnage against these humanoid figures, these 7-8 foot long humanoid figures. And this same Ramden, clad in this blackest of armor and gear. The very shadows almost seem to coalesce under him. And then the war starts to change as these humanoid figures start to push the Ramden back. First, they get pushed back to their various strongholds. The tower you saw in the glittering planet. You see another tower hidden deep beneath the waves of an ocean planet. And then the Ramden get pushed back further and further and further. They get pushed back on their ships through a jump gate. And the last thing that you see as these ships in your vision sort of goes through these jump gates is you see these humanoid figures have found a way to turn off this jump gate. And now your people are stuck on the other end, locked off from the Procyon sector forever. And that is what you see. Havoc. It is a dark and rainy night on the streets of Warren. There's thunder that can be heard occasionally in the background, and we see an alley as a cloaked figure carries a bundle in their arms. We see the figure sort of bend down their face to talk sweetly to the bundle, and as the camera zooms in, we see that they are holding a small human baby, a baby boy who's cooling and smiling. And the baby is grasping this small satin drawstring bag. The cloaked figure sort of looks left and right and starts to lower the baby down onto the ground. They turn and walk away and then stop for a moment and turn back to look at the baby on the ground a few feet from them. And then we hear around the corner, choo, 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 a scuffle and blaster fire. and then a figure casually strolls around the corner. The people that were pursuing her no longer. So the cloaked figure hides quickly and watches as this woman sort of casually walks up to this baby. We can see the woman pick up the baby and then start to walk away. And the last thing that the cloaked woman hears before this woman walks away from the woman is, "Oh, Yatu is just gonna love you." Huh. I guess you could call me Maris, but what should we call you? Well, I did just leave all that havoc I caused on that last job, and it led me to you. How about we call you Havoc? Yeah, that'll do. And then the Maris and baby Havoc turn the corner. The cloaked woman leaves, starts navigating their way through the twisting alleys and streets of Warren, and just as they're about to leave the limits of Warren for good, they turn the corner and run into a 7 to 8 foot long humanoid-looking figure. The cloaked figure loses their cloak. It falls down to reveal a beautiful woman with wild blue eyes and an angular face. And the 7 to 8 foot tall humanoid goes, "You've stolen something from me, Aquila. Give it back." Aquila stares up at the figure before saying, "You'll never find it, 4X. It's gone forever. You're never going to collect the raiments of night now." And calmly and coolly, the figure just says, "No matter. You've stopped nothing, my dear. I will miss our nights together." And he pulls out a pistol and fires straight into her gut. He turns and walks away as the camera pans back onto the lifeless body, blood pooling beneath her in the rainstorm on Warren. Just another dead body. Nobody special. Lido. Yours is you're not really seeing it through anyone's eyes. It's a bit more out of scope. But you see a bunch of early explorers. And they descend onto a planet that is rich in metal. You can just see veins of metal just scattered completely throughout the planet. And in the distance, there is a group of ram-like humanoids that are galloping. They stop and they gallop closer towards you. They seem cautious and yet curious, as if they've never seen anything like you or your group before. And their leader is Ramden, who looks surprisingly similar to Graves, perhaps a grandparent. He begins approaching you, and you see someone who looks a lot like you begin conversing with this Ramden. And they lead you back to their tribe. But the whole time you know that you're not here to make friends. And so when you get to the tribe with surprise on your side, you quickly overtake the Ramdens who are a threat and take the rest back to your ship. And on the way, there are a couple of Ramdens that are trying to bargain in exchange for their freedom. They say, "We'll point out where the other tribes are." And at the mention of this traitorous action, Graves' grandparent howls and charges at you and the two traitors. And you see your ancestor pull out a blaster pistol and fire it. Graves' grandparent falls over dead. And the scene starts to fade to black as we see flashes of you being led to other tribes and beginning the enslavement and the true end of the Ramden Empire.
So you're telling me the hegemonic nobles are not the good guys?
That's what I've been led to believe.
Darn it.
Yeah.
I was not ready for that revelation.
Yeah, right?
I was banking on them.
Yeah.
Someone has to be good in this universe.
That was a big twist. It was like, the hegemon's a good guy, actually. You should sign up and give your life to serving him.
Man, I think Lito's gonna feel pretty awkward around Graves for a bit.
Yeah, that's kind of fair.
Why ever?
Oh, you know.
Are you just assuming that I had a parallel vision where I was like, that looks like Lito's ancestor?
No, I don't think that that's going to be Lito's assumption, but I think Lito's
I was messing.
Yeah, no, I think, but like genuinely, I think there's a level of like as someone who grew up in the hegemonic nobility, Leto knows what happened to the Ramden and how the random diaspora took place, even if that history is somewhat lost to the Ramdens themselves. But like, I don't know that he knew that his direct ancestors were responsible for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very different thing to see it happen straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Oh, gears. Gears. Here we go. Nick and I were texting about this earlier. And Nick's like, hey, what about this? And I'm like, oh, my friend, it is going to be so much worse than you are expecting.
Okay.
You are looking through someone's eyes. You are seeing a farm, a plantation. You're seeing a warm sun out, and you feel a cool breeze. And you are content. You were just seeing day after day of this person working the field, taking what they make, selling it. They are happy, giving it to their family, making things. And then there's a letter that comes, and you open the letter, and it is an official hegemonic letter stating that soon the hegemon will be coming to this planet to start to mine some of the resources from the planet. That's it. Just mine the resources. You are upset. You can feel the anger rising in this person that you are watching this vision from. And then the door opens and you see a small boy run in. And you're in this vision, but you somehow know that this is you as a young boy. And you ask what the letter was. And you see yourself then hide the letter and tell this young boy that the hegemon is coming to crack the planet completely wide open. You are angry, and you continue to say this to the young boy. You continue to tell this young boy's father, your son, that, as well as others. You see other farmers start to join you in the indignation of this. Until the day comes, the mining drill has parked up above the planet in the atmosphere, and it is the day that they are going to turn it on. But when your eyes now sink into the vision, you are not on the farm. You are on a ship, flying towards the mining drill. You sneak on board, start messing around with some of the gears and the equipment, and some guild of engineers come in and see you doing this. So you know that you do not have the time or the resources you need to do this right, so you just quickly tear some things out and run. You get back onto your ship and fly away from the mining drill. And when it fires, it doesn't explode like you're hoping it does, but its beam is amplified. It burrows into the planet and keeps burrowing and burrowing and burrowing until the entire planet shatters. The people of Gap scramble to flee, and most don't make it. But your grandfather, Pius, is the only one who knows whose hand actually cracked Gap. And the shockwave from the mining drill sends your personal ship flying, stranded in space. And the last thing that your grandfather saw before he was flung into space, never to see anything ever again, was the top of what looked like an ancient stone tower, now revealed inside of the planet that he cracked. And you all come too.
Leto sits forward and just kind of puts his head in his hands.
Well, that sucked.
Havoc has a very as he comes to, he has a very confused and searching look on his face. Like he's just trying to decipher what the fuck he just saw.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and just that was bad for everyone, right? That was just a bad time. The silence is
good.
It's
well. I found out Maris named me, so that doesn't sit right with me.
Didn't we shoot her?
Yeah.
I actually shot her twice. I shot her in both knees.
Maybe I'll change my name. I don't know.
It's not that hard to do. I can find
Seems
it.
all of us have.
I mean, yeah, whatever you want to call yourself. We'll call you.
Justin, What's that? Sorry, Danny.
No, Havoc was just saying he'll think on it. Go on.
Justin, was it more or less clear to Graves that a bunch of his people went through this gate and then the gate was broken?
Yeah, it was in the
And
context.
that's where it ended, right?
Yeah, it was in the context of a war. So your people were in a large scale war with this other race, and in that you kind of had to get pushed back, right? Like you lost some territory, and it was like we have to retreat back to behind this gate, and we'll come back.
Yeah.
But the gate was turned off.
Is there only one gate in the systems we know that is turned off, or are there several? I forget.
There's only one gate in this system that you know of that is turned off.
What is that called?
It's called the Hantu Gate.
Okay. So I would have reasonably think that I know which gate this is.
It's a decent guess, right? Like obviously
it's a speculation because
it's a speculation because you could be seeing this from any sector, you know what I mean? But it is strange that in Holt there is a single jump gate that is turned off and has been turned off for as long as you can remember, and you are also seeing the gate that gets turned off.
My vision might have been good. Grace stands up.
Is there a sense of time for, in particular, mine and Graves visions? I think Gears and Havoc probably have. Obviously, Havoc's was within his lifetime; he was in it. But
yours, Leto, would have been. You wouldn't know from the vision, but I was trying to work through the timeline on my own. Graves' vision of this war between the Rondon and whatever would have been thousands and thousands of years ago. Yours would have been probably, is what I'm assuming, was one of the first contacts between humans and the Ramdens. So probably somewhere in 1500 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, mine was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. What is a Ramden lifespan like? How many Ramden generations have passed since what I saw?
Probably 3. So Steve and I are working through this. So they live probably about 600 to 700 years, somewhere in there.
Okay, so the person I saw that looked like Graves could have been his direct grandfather, not necessarily a distant ancestor like mine.
Correct. It
Okay.
would have been his direct grandfather. It is in
Okay.
fact his direct grandfather.
Okay. Wow.
Oh yeah, so you straight up recognize this man. Like
Yeah,
probably
it
from
looks
pictures.
strikingly similar to Graves.
Okay. I mean, I think that like
Oh, sorry, Graves. Sorry, I mixed that up.
I
It
think
would have been Leto's like great, like
Yeah.
1500 years ago would have been.
yeah, 1500.
But even
years
then, like
is-
nobility, especially in like a futuristic setting, I'm sure you have like.
Yeah, I'm
family-
guessing it's probably so like compared to us, where it would be like 15 generations. It's probably only like 9 or 10 for
For sure.
nobility in a world like this. But
For sure.
it's still far enough back that the only reason I would know that was my ancestor is because I know that I'm seeing my ancestor.
You walked through the halls with all the paintings of them as a boy.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Fag memories.
yeah. I mean, you have to memorize all of the all the names and deeds of the leaders of the great houses and your own house if your house is not great. Thorn is not great.
Mhm.
I think like Leto, like as you guys kind of like discuss however much of what you saw you are discussing, Leto is just uncharacteristically quiet.
Yeah, Gears doesn't really say much else. He just.
I'd like to make another thing clear, which you make sort of implicit in the vision, but I'm happy to just explicitly state. Also in addition to like being like, oh, maybe those the Hantu gate graves, those two towers that you saw in the vision as well too.
Yeah.
Well, the one on the ocean planet, you know of an ocean planet in this sector, Mem. There's a good chance that that's Mem that you saw, and then the planet with the diamonds and the gemstones littered throughout it sounds strikingly similar to a planet called Voss as well. That is where the hegemony like mines gems to sell. So
Yeah. So pretty distinctive, both of those.
very distinctive. Yep.
And I saw towers. One tower was underwater
Mm-hmm.
in Mem, presumably.
Yep.
And the other one was on land in this gemstone planet of Voss.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. I think we all need time.
I would just like to leave if I'm being honest.
Yes.
Yes, we should go.
You leave unimpeded. Where are you going? You're going back to Warren?
Let's see what our heat is looking for. Give me a second.
Yeah. So let's see at that heat chart over there.
Oh, heat chart. Yeah, where do you have the wanted levels? Is it in Warren?
It's in the Rin system,
Which is Warren. Yep.
which is Warren. Yeah.
Yep.
We chill in Iota. Well, actually, no. After this job, we'll probably have a wanted level in Iota. Actually, who wants to go to Holt?
No objection from Graves. He shrugs.
Yeah. As long as there's going involved, I'm in.
Holt it is.
I mean, there's a few places on Holt. Mem is in Holt. So you have some contacts there in Mem. You would also know Voss is there, and then another planet which I really hope we get to at some point called Sunhandra, which is a tidally locked planet. I love tidally locked planets in sci-fi settings. I think they're some of the coolest things in the world.
What does that mean?
So half of the planet is always pointing towards the sun, and the other half is always pointed away from the sun.
Oh.
So you'd have to like live along the equator.
Yep.
Well, not the equator, just the.
But like around that
the
edge.
ring of darkness and
Yeah, you
and
can't
light.
go too far to the sun side or too close to the moon side. Otherwise,
It would, yeah,
too hot or
it
too
would-
cold.
be colder than the coldest
Yep.
places on Earth on the
Yep.
dark side, and hotter than the hottest places on Earth on the hot side.
That's fun. Huh.
We could go to Mem, but that was kind of in a bad spot the last time we looked at it. So
Yeah,
what's
it
in
felt like
What's in Breck?
oh, we
Like-
could also go back, yeah.
Yeah, Breck, Nightfall is well. You're in this area. You're on a moon surrounding Nightfall. Nightfall is probably like I'm trying to make the best analogy. If like Coruscant is Warren, like imagine that level of tech, but the seediness of Tatooine. That's what Nightfall is.
Oh,
Okay.
Nightfall sounds great though.
So that like that gambling planet that's in Force
yes,
Awakens.
that's perfect. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yep.
Yeah, I think. Why don't we stick around Nightfall? I don't have the energy to go and get embroiled in whatever's happening in Holt right now.
Yeah, no long trips. Let's just go.
We can get.
Fine.
Why don't we get a hotel room in one of the nicer places here and try to forget what we just saw?
Most of my time is going to be spent fixing the ship anyway, so.
Wonderful. Well, this is fun. I will let you know that on Nightfall, when you acquire an asset, roll with consort instead of your crew quality.
Ooh.
Take advantage of that. while
That'd be
you're in
good if I
Nightfall.
go. Let me know what assets you guys want to acquire, and I can, because I've got good consort, and I can do it
Consort.
as an extra action.
cool.
All right, friends. It is time. It is time we started doing the downtime stuff. We got you the payoff. Let's do upkeep. We want to skip it. We want to play it.
First, we have to untap.
So,
Untap,
we do have to-
untap, I draw.
untap
I'm okay with that.
it.
I'll let you draw.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
This passive aggressive TCG games, everybody.
Well, first on my upkeep, I draw an extra card, and then you need to mill 10 because I drew one, and so
Hate those
Of course, you play a blue deck.
I hate blue decks. I don't play blue.
Oh, I do.
Ah.
We've got.
I've been playing a white
There's-
green recently, and it's been
Ooh,
super controlly, weirdly controlly for a white green. Anyway, I digress.
yeah, that's an interesting combo. Yeah. So, wait, what are we doing?
We're
Do you
going
wanna
to
s-
Nightfall.
You're going to Nightfall. We've done the payoff. You've got your 6 cred. Do you want to skip the upkeep roll, or do you want to just pay the 1 cred and not skip the upkeep roll?
Let's pay the credit and do the upkeep roll, right?
Well, yeah, okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure Havoc put the ship in pretty bad place during that last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes when we haven't skipped upkeep before, it seems kind of worth it to try to like risk just
sure.
not having to upkeep it,
For sure.
especially when we have damage, because like I'm gonna need that money to fix the ship anyways. But
Mhm.
I think we're just gonna do it because it's
Okay.
we've got 3 damage. I just need to fix this ship.
Yeah, one more would be quite a lot. All right. We're moving on to heat. It's definitely not completely quiet. I don't think it's quite smooth and quiet. I'm willing to say it's contained though.
I'll take that.
I'm trying. Let's see. Would I consider it loud and chaotic, high exposure? Yeah, I'm like caught between those two, and I think I'm leaning towards contained.
Yeah, I think, I mean, like the parts that were louder and more chaotic, we were in disguise.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah. that's why I'm leaning towards contained. Nothing about it seemed like completely loud and chaotic the entire time. So
No
I'm
one
going-
who saw us lived. So
It's, that's true.
saw us at a close
Dang.
distance, I should say.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
That's crazy.
I think we'll just do the contained. So 2 heat to start. High profile or well connected targets. I am gonna say yes. The Church of the Stellar Flame is a very high profile target.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like we attacked the Catholic Church in the 1500s.
Yeah, you invade a
Bro.
robe.
100%.
And you did kill hegemonic citizens. And there was massive property damage. So definitely the 2 heat applies there. So in total, we're looking at 5 heat.
Okay, well, I was right about Iota.
Wanted level on Iota, yeah.
Heat level 1, wanted level 1 now from 0.
Amazing.
I'm assuming the heat carries over.
I am going to say that the heat carries over.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, friends.
Actually, I could see an argument for why it would make sense for any heat that becomes a wanted level to dissipate until you get more heat.
Well, I'm saying that
I'm not arguing for it. I'm just saying I could see why you would argue.
You could. I will ignore your arguments and say that it carries over.
Again, not making that argument.
He's just saying it's there. So.
Oh, baby! That's a
he rolled them like, yeah. Okay. Here we go.
And I said baby, and so Rio comes out.
I just don't want the entanglement to cost very much. That's all I'm going for. Hopefully we get a ship advancement and we can.
Yeah, that'd be nice. While we wait for Justin to come back, I was telling Steve and Justin the other day, I got these new dice that look like little bones. So that when I roll, I can say that I'm gonna consult the bones. But beautiful. I do not roll as well as I normally do with these dice. And so I want to roll them because they're this fun little novelty, but then I roll and it's like, okay, that's bad.
Okay, friends.
I don't like any of the facial expressions.
I want to roll them.
Right
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize. Just change whatever's about to happen.
No, I will not. I will not change what's about to happen.
Easy peasy.
If you need to apologize, don't do the thing.
Please.
There is there's like on your way to Nightfall, or like one of it's not too far to get from this moon to Nightfall, but you hear a noise in your cargo bay. It's like banging real loud.
Banging, my kind of noise.
Gears is just like, what the hell is that? What is going on? And he goes and kicks Graves.
Yeah.
Hey, there's something in the cargo hold. I need you to grab a gun. Check it out.
There's someone banging in the cargo hold.
Gears Graves grabs a heavy blaster, the same one that he had used on our last mission. Mm-hmm. So it's probably overkill, but it's given the way you came in and woke him. I think he's overly vigilant, perhaps.
When you get into the cargo bay, it is almost like spores of light just spread completely throughout the cargo bay.
Gears is like holding up like a mechanic's rag over his face.
I just take a deep inhale, trying to smell what this stuff is, Justin.
All right, Gears, you see as one of these spores enters into Graves' nostril, and Graves, it is though somebody has lit your insides on fire.
Oh no!
And as soon as that happens, the rest of the spores start to coalesce into a vaguely like tentacled dog shape, and it starts charging towards you.
Towards me.
Uh-huh. And I'm fine if you just want to like shut the door and keep it in there. We don't need to.
Gears shuts the doors immediately.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because Graves was probably about to fight, but also he's very arrested by the pain inside of him right now.
Yeah, I think Graves had like taken a step into the room. Gears just grabs him by the belt, rips him back, and shuts the door.
You shut the door. There's the banging that you were hearing on the door, and then it quiets down eventually. I have rolled Unquiet Black. you have attracted a way creature. This is not any alien you've ever heard of before. You know that this is some sort of way creature that has taken up residence in your cargo bay. Perhaps attracted from the giant way and like light beam that was shot out from the tower.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Just don't want it in my ship.
Graves casts his blaster aside and just he's holding his face and just grunting. Justin, how bad is it?
It's bad, but it does dissipate after a little bit. But it's bad. It is probably one of the most painful things you've ever felt in your life.
Ugh.
This guy's been shot multiple times. I just want to remind the audience.
What is that? Ugh.
I think it's one of those weird way creature nonsense. We got to get somebody to help us with that. Well, it's fine. The cargo bay's.
No, I'll kill it.
No,
I'll kill it now.
No. I don't even think you can. And it's fine. I mean, I think the cargo bay is about to depressurize anyways. The hull's pretty rough. So, I mean, it's not going to kill whatever that is. That's just we can't go in there anyway.
You said a way creature.
It didn't look like any alien fauna I had ever heard of, and it does not work like normal life does. So at this point, it's just if it's weird, I blame it on the way. It's like,
Justin, we no longer have anyone on the ship besides our core crew, correct? So,
Yep.
Correct.
So among us, the folks most attuned to the way, it's kind of a crapshoot, probably, as far as we know.
That's correct.
So what it says under Unquiet Black is acquire the services of a mystic or exterminator to destroy or banish it, or deal with it yourself. So if Thetis were here, perhaps he could help deal with it.
Maybe. But he's not.
We just don't have a cargo bay for a little bit.
Yep. I mean, that's fine too. You can just let it sit there.
Yeah, for now, I mean, we can maybe deal with it in downtime, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to do. Probably pretty easy to find a mystic somewhere on Nightfall. All right, what do you guys want to do? You want to do downtime activities? You want to do advancement?
Let's do advancement first.
Yeah, maybe you guys will get
advancement
for downtime activities.
I did get an advancement mid-mission. I got a because I filled up my prowess track, so I took a pip in scrap.
There you go.
I think the same thing also happened to me. I took a pip in scrap as well.
Took a little pip, did ya?
Hey, we can fight finally. We're in this.
Finally, I can lift my hands to punch.
All right.
I can close my fist and not just slap.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
I mean, Gears literally just told everyone his background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so for sure. For sure. Anyone else feels like they need to discuss if that's a yes or a no?
Do you think that Havoc just staying in the ship was expressing his drive of uninterestedness?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Sorry.
I mean, I interpret Havoc as being pretty survivalist and self-serving, even more than the rest of us.
He is, yeah.
I don't know. You could do a better job, man. Stay on that ship. Get ready to drive away.
Considering what I was doing the entire last drive, I don't see myself being able to answer yes to most of these questions.
I feel like we shouldn't reward someone just being like, I'm not going to take part in any missions. I'm just going to sit here.
Hey, all right.
That's my thought.
Yeah, it also wasn't really like
you didn't express anything. Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
I don't think so. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
Does getting a trauma count?
Does not, but if in the next mission you live into that trauma, then absolutely it does.
I think I lived into the obsession as soon as I had it with some of my last moments on this job.
I'm willing to. Yeah.
But
You
it,
did
you know,
come back. Yeah, you did come back.
like despite being, I forget if I was bleeding or blasted already. I think I was bleeding first and then got blasted when I was on the exterior of the ship trying to give us cover for our escape. But I was trying to lean into obsession. I don't know if I nailed it or not.
If you were trying, that's enough for me.
Good old trauma. So I
All
get a little point there.
Gears, did you address a challenge with technical skill or ingenuity?
Yeah.
I think so, for sure.
Times.
Yeah. For sure. Graves, did you address a challenge with force or threat?
No, I was totally nonviolent the whole time.
You were right Martin Luther King Jr. that entire time.
It was tough, but I did it. I used the power of gentle and healing words.
Yes.
Except for all the people I killed. Yeah.
Except for all the people you killed. Please take an XP for that. I mean, remember, y'all, you don't have to kill people. It's gonna give you less heat at the end of a job.
Don't tell that to Graves. He doesn't understand that.
There are other ways to
Every
stop
person
people.
we leave alive is a liability.
You're right. All right. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy.
On the same page, Johnny.
A liveability.
If you introduce an NPC, they will die.
They will die. Look, I'm happy to give you all more heat. Havoc, despite sitting on the ship the entire time, did you address a challenge with speed or flare? I still think you did.
I think when I finally had to get to them, yeah.
Yeah, and even before.
Yeah,
the
getting
slingshot around the moon.
Cool. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep. Very cool. Lido, did you address a challenge with deception or influence?
Yes.
Absolutely you did. Absolutely. Did anyone get a playbook advancement or a PC advancement?
Nope.
Yes.
Oh, what do you want to take?
It's so hard to decide.
I know.
Yeah, I need to think on the playbook advancement, but I also got my prowess track filled.
Oh wow, amazing. Both, huh?
Yeah, and so I think it makes sense to just take another pip in scrap because that was really the only thing I was leaning into for the whole mission. I think all of my roles were pretty much trying to fight to keep everyone alive.
Okay, so now you have 3 in scrap.
Yes.
Wow, you're just leaning into the fighting thing.
Well, yeah, that is, it's very much a focus.
Apropos for the muscle.
It's literally his role.
I gotta start putting Graves into less fighting situations just to stretch.
You are feeding them to me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
still
think
addresses some of them with his fists anyway.
Yeah, I think, Justin, I'm going to lean in to Predator.
Okay.
Is that an option that I can take?
Is it under your playbook?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You can also, remember too, you can also look at other playbooks as well.
Yeah.
With that veteran ability, you can take a playbook or a special ability from another playbook.
I just like how this fits with the trauma of viciousness. Take 1+1 die to rolls against weakened or vulnerable targets. Whenever you gather information on a weakness or vulnerability, the worst you can get is a 4 to 5 result.
Oh, that's fun. You'll have to use that more and gather information on your targets.
Yeah. So I like that incentivizes a slight, more nuance to the play.
I love that a lot. Anyone else get any advancements? Just Graves? Okay. All right. I think we're on to crew advancement. Did you contend with challenges above your current station?
Yep.
Absolutely you did. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one?
I like to think that we were very professional.
Because we're very professional. You even stuck around to bring him back.
And we did not have to.
We did not have to.
Kept that in mind the whole time.
Yep. You're constantly like, should we just let's just bounce. I'm happy to let you have that.
Okay.
Did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew?
Kind of more than ever before, I think.
Tell me a bit more about that.
Well, I think the sharing. Well, I guess yeah. I mean, the drives and inner conflict at least a lot for Gears and Lido for their backgrounds and what's going on with them, and especially with the visions, you get more into like what's going on with Carlton and some possible drives for him and goals for him. So, like, if anything, multiple times if we can squeeze it in.
Yeah.
You know what? Because I want to encourage you to continue to do that more, take 2 XP.
Ah, yes.
Don't say I never did anything for you.
I won't. Well, I will eventually.
You never did anything for
An
us.
ungrateful player.
It's part of the player GM relationship. Eventually, we'll say it.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
You never
I'm
did
gonna-
anything.
You know
Hired
what?
by law.
We will definitely, bend over backwards for some more XP. So it's a good plan, I think.
There you go. That's what it's there for. Did you execute a successful transport or smuggling operation?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you did. Nice job.
It's a
Nice
tough one.
job there. Did you guys get a crew advancement?
Yes, we did.
Amazing.
baby.
Whew.
What do you guys want to do with that crew advancement?
So many options.
Nothing.
Just bank it and have it go away at the end of this downtime.
Have we even used our
it.
hyperspace maps, the dark space lane maps? Have we used those?
No, I have to find a way to bring that in. I think of a few ways.
Did we get
All
those?
right.
Which was that?
You did get this, yes.
That's great.
Oh, wasn't marked on. Yeah. What should we get?
Where are we in the what is it called? Rule book for looking for our next advancements on crew.
So it's kind of all it's a little all over the place.
Oh no! Why?
so-
Scum and
you
Villainy.
We can just look on the shared.
Oh, is it in
document.
Drive?
You can actually,
Yeah.
yes.
Excellent.
If we go into the Montressor subtab,
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
it's just there listed for Star Dancer special abilities. But isn't there another subset?
Yeah, so you can pick one of the special abilities, or you can take any combination of 2 ship upgrades. So any of the Star Dancer specific upgrades or the general upgrades as well.
I'm gonna be honest. Looking at the sheer amount of heat that we've accrued, just passing through is looking pretty appealing.
Yeah.
It's actually useless
Why?
because we don't have less than 4 heat anywhere.
Yeah, you do. Don't you have it in Iota and
Oh yeah, but we have a wanted level in both of
Right
those.
Oh no. So we still
Sounds-
take the -1 heat.
yeah, you'll still take the minus
We
one.
just we just don't get this deception thing, and we still in the 2 jobs while we're at war, the 2 downtime activities while we're at war will still have effect too. The only thing we don't
Yeah.
get is the additional dice to deceive people.
Now,
Oh, okay.
I'd like to make an argument. I think that that's a good option. But field repairs, especially if Havoc is going to keep damaging the ship during pretty much every
gonna keep
mission.
damaging the ship.
I'd either like field repairs or to advance the system so we have more overall HP as like like the ship has more HP basically.
Mhm.
May I also throw in that it might be time to upgrade your crew quality?
To just make the jobs a little easier, that'd be cool.
The job's a little easier, make some of those like quality rolls better.
But the devil on my shoulder is just saying, if we leave our crew quality where it is for now, then we're more likely to keep getting more XP because we're going up against quality mismatches.
I do like the devil on your shoulder, Johnny.
I mean, that's for sure. Yeah, I won't say no to that. I will start getting, I think, and I have been doing it, like when there is a vast difference, being like, you're at no effect, you got to find a way to bump it up.
Vast
to
difference.
Effect.
Yes.
A vast difference.
I have been feeling the vast difference for sure.
So for just to remind you, upping your crew quality is going to help a lot in downtime, right? Especially acquiring assets. That's going to be one of the biggest spaces you're going to find that crew quality helps. But anytime that we need to use your crew quality potentially for a ship roll or something, that might be important.
Yeah.
As well.
No. Man, that's tough, y'all.
So, I mean, in my head, I'm kind of torn between field repairs and upping our crew quality.
Same.
Upping crew quality will also help with the recover downtime activity as well.
That's helpful. Because I get wounded every time. So
do I somehow. I'm like the least fighty of us, and I somehow get injured every...
Squishy Lido, always getting squished.
Getting squeezed.
Yeah. I'm overly concerned with Graves. I keep running out to try and help him.
Don't shoot him, please!
Graves, go fight them. Wait, Graves, don't get hurt.
Let's go with crew quality. Let's
let's do it.
Let's be a little less underdoggy here.
All right.
I accept.
It does cost...
I functionally treat Nick as captain.
It does cost some credit to do that, though.
How much?
Oh, how much?
Never mind.
I take it back.
8 credit.
What?
8 credit? What? Fuck you.
But you can fund it from your
We do
character,
have enough.
from the ship cred, from you're converting your stash.
Okay. Let's just say that I didn't put my cred in my stash earlier. So I can take it out.
How much do we have in our collective pool?
So we have
4?
5 from the current job still, and in the ship cred we have 4. So we do have enough to buy it.
Oh yeah,
And
if
then
nobody gets paid from this job individually, we can do it.
Yeah, so nobody's getting paid if we do this.
It is what it is. Let's just do it out of the ship's funds.
Okay.
It is intended to be bumping up the crew quality is almost certainly going to wipe out the funds that you've got.
Yeah.
You better pay off.
We hope so.
I think it will.
That was 2 jobs worth right there.
It's kind of perfect because we have exactly 1 cred left over in the ship, and I like to keep 1 cred left over in the ship. So
Smart. Might as well. All right. That's all the advancements. Wow. Let's up your crew quality there. That's exciting. I don't know about you, but that excites me.
If I understand correctly, all the times that we've had a tier difference play into our position and effect.
It does.
That's the shift.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a huge shift. So now I'm gonna look at a tier 2, and you're not gonna take any less effect going against them, and I'm gonna look at a tier 3, and I might bump it down to limit it, but depending on the situation.
I can't stress enough how much having to pay that much fictional cred affected my real life mood.
yeah, it doesn't feel great.
I mean, awesome. But have fun with it. What is that? Especially
what does that look like?
What is that moment? What does that cred being spent mean? And why in this moment is your crew now considered quote unquote a tier 2 faction, a tier 2 crew?
I think it's like a laundry list of several systems actually being systems instead of just duct tape and wiring just on the ship itself.
Yeah.
I think some of it's reputational too. We've gotten the attention, and I think maybe even earned the respect of a few high-powered factions that have now come into contact with us.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you look at the people that you've worked for, I mean, you've got a positive relationship with 2 of the highest tier hegemonic factions, and then
Counter Guild of Engineers,
and the you guys are doing You've
And
made
even, like,
some connections.
I think like when you look at even in my mind, like looking at who we have like negative relationships with too speaks to like our quality. Like we have high powered people who have come up against us and we've gotten the better of them.
Yep.
Or at the very least gotten away.
Yeah,
for sure. And in fact, I think that last job might have been, maybe that's what was the turn, right? Like the Ashtari Cult maybe in some ways took a gamble on hiring somebody like you to do this, going up against the Church of the Stellar Flame. But I think now that you've successfully completed this job, word is definitely spreading about your crew.
Yeah. I have an important question, and this might actually change my mood a little bit as far as how much money we just spent. Does having higher crew quality now, does that mean that we can hypothetically demand higher fees from people hiring us? Like, can we get more cred for jobs because we have a higher quality?
I might start bumping up some of the creds that are being offered for jobs. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I might start bumping up the creds. I might then start amping up even making them even harder then, right?
Yeah.
Like more difficult jobs, more cred.
Cool. Sounds good.
I think I've got some too. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
All right, friends. You're on Nightfall.
Wait. So on the sheet, it's marked with 2 pips in crew. It should be 1, right? Or is it?
Were you at 0?
We're at 0.
Okay, then yeah, you're at 1.
Okay.
Is there anything that we need? I have some contacts here on Nightfall. We can acquire assets if anyone needs anything.
Would acquiring an asset allow me to repair without spending a cred?
Oh.
Because yes, if that is possible.
I could see that. Sure, I could see you. It'd be essentially you like hiring a mechanic to help you.
Yeah.
Let me just look at, because what I don't want to do is find a way to just like circumvent having to like the repair downtime activity, right? Like if
I think I would still do it, but it's like he's acquiring assets for like help or for like just raw material. It's just so I don't have to, because the repair activity literally just says spend a credit to fix something. So it's both the time and then another cred.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to assuage one of those things.
Well, I'll tell you what, depending on acquiring an asset and how you roll, perhaps if you're also still recovering, it might heal more on the ship. Right? So instead of spending 1 cred to just heal 1, it might be you spend the cred to recover and you heal 2 because you've acquired an asset and someone to help you. Something like that.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
Nick, did you want to respond to Lido in scene then, or are you still thinking on what you want to do?
Well, I swear my ability on my mechanic sheet changed.
Oh.
I'm kind of confused. I don't know if I was just reading it wrong before.
The baling wire and mech tape.
Yeah. Yeah, so on my original sheet, it said I get an extra downtime activity to repair, and doing so costs 0. But in the current one, it says during downtime, the repair action costs you 0.
Yeah, no. The one you have is right. You get the extra downtime. Yep.
I'd rather have everything cost 0, but
it's both. It's both of those things.
Wait, the action always costs 0 for me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was just during that extra downtime.
Nope.
Oh, I've lost us cred without realizing it.
Well, we're learning. You spent on some less than savory mechanics to help you out with 1 or 2 projects. Could have been free.
Yeah. Could have just done it myself.
Oh yeah, my Arab respectability thing here I think is incomplete as well.
We have some truncated abilities or skills on our sheets.
Yeah, to be fair, my confusion came from the original writing. It wasn't even that the sheet was different now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lido, I think. Yeah, Graves will respond to your question.
Yeah.
Lido.
Is there something you need?
I don't know what kind of contact I need, but maybe a historian?
I don't know if I have any of those in my contact book, but I'll see what I can find for you.
Anything on... What was it called, Justin? The Bantu Gate? Hantu Gate?
Hantu Gate.
Anything on the Hantu Gate?
All right. And Graves. I don't know how to say this. My ancestors, my direct ancestors, did some terrible things to yours. I think the Ramden's current position in the hegemony is my family's fault. And I want you to know that I'm going to do what I can, both to restore my position in House Thorn and to fix what my family has done to yours.
Graves contemplates you for a bit, Leto. You don't sense any anger or malice or anything in him. And then he just reaches out a hand.
I take your hand, and I think I look in your eyes, and you would see there's like a genuineness in Leto's eyes that isn't always there. And I say, Yishtali Taliesh, Graves.
Yishtali Taliesh.
I'll see what I can do about that historian.
Don't carry any other burdens, Leto. I'm realizing blood is thinner than I used to think.
My characteristic smile comes back. I'll see what I can do to take that advice. Then I get serious again for a second. Just, you are my true friend, Graves.
For what it's worth, I assume everyone's family has wronged mine. And then he just pats you on the back a little harder than necessary. And
all right, do I take another injury?
Take a level 3 harm.
Yeah.
Just dies. Just drops dead.
Level 4 harm.
Leto's dead.
He just knocks the spirit out of you. Yeah. Do you think Leto... Well, I'll just ask in character. Would you like company? Friend?
I wouldn't say no to it. Feel free to come.
Okay. I will. I don't know Nightfall well.
I don't know it as well as I'd like to. Let's learn together. Yeah, so I'm gonna go. I mean, I have a couple of stops to make in terms of getting. So I'm gonna make at least two rolls for acquiring assets. One for a historian for Graves, and one for a. I'll look for. I guess both of these are looking for an expert.
Sure.
As it's put in the book. Let me find
the. Yeah, well, you're looking for that.
Yeah. I was just gonna set the scene a little bit. When you leave the ship, and they're just towering skyscrapers, like high-rise buildings, block after block of people crammed vertically instead of horizontally. You pass by hundreds of clubs pumping with the latest synthwave music. Yeah, like a lot of it's yeah, exactly. It's very clubby.
I think I know where to find like like finding an engineer or somebody who's going to have like mechanical skill is going to be a little bit easier for me.
Yep.
Like, because I know where to look for that. So I think maybe I would make my way first to someplace where I can try and find a contractor to send to help Gears.
Okay, perfect. You can roll with Consort here on Nightfall instead of your crew quality.
Which is great because I get to roll more dice that way.
Amazing.
Okay. 2.
Oh. Hey, here is the good
Salted
news.
the bones. The bones.
Here's the good news, though. Before, when you were crew quality 0, that would have meant that you found somebody at a -1 quality. Now just a tier 0 quality. So
not like a total loser.
And not a total loser. It's not
Gears
just
might
somebody
be doing more teaching than learning, but
for sure.
At least
They'll be helpful. They'll be
They'll know what tools Gears is talking about when he asks for the tool that he's supposed to be handed.
Correct.
Is that there a spigot, a stirrup, a ratchet?
I think in this case though, repair is not going to heal any additional systems.
That's fair. But Gears doesn't mind the help. He does spend his extra downtime activity and every downtime activity he gets by default just fixing the ship.
Oh, so just 3 downtime. Okay.
Just 3 downtime, which does put our ship back to full.
Amazing.
And I will spend a cred to do
another one.
No, to freaking indulge vice. There we go. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, so exhausted after like days of just like fixing the ship, working on the ship. Gears doesn't even like shower, like it's just covered in like grease, just goes to like any sort of casino he can find.
There's so many casinos here.
Ideally one that has like the cheap tables. Not that he needs them to be cheap, but
there's also so many of those.
It's the vibe he's going for, you know?
Yeah, for sure. He doesn't want to get on the high risk tables. He's just like, let me just gamble. I just need to gamble. It doesn't matter who wins or what we're betting.
I don't even care if we win. I just need to bet something. And
all right. I think then you're rolling your lowest attribute is resolve. So 1 die.
Yep. Come on, baby. Okay, it's just a 2, unfortunately.
Okay. Just 2 stress.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Should we find that historian now, Lido?
Yeah, I think we'll head to, like I'll say to Graves, I think we ought to head to the university. More likely than not, that's where we'll find the best historians available.
Good.
So we head to the university and look for like their history building. And
absolutely.
I'm going to push myself this time.
Oh, well, so this works a little differently than that. You can spend and during downtime, you can spend a cred to increase the result of a level.
Okay. I do not have any cred that I can spend, so
yeah, there's no pushing yourself during downtime activities.
Gotcha.
Spending cred is how you increase it.
Yeah, I put my cred in my stash, and so
I indeed invested. I put mine in my Roth IRA. So, or as they say in sci-fi, my Hoth IRA.
Hoth. That made me laugh more than it should. That's funny.
Yeah, real quick. A stupid dad joke.
Right. Consult the bones.
Real quick, while Johnny's rolling, can I just spend another credit and roll again on Vice?
Sure, for sure. If you got the credit to spend.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I'm out of credit now.
Nick's going in. Yo, Johnny rolled dub 6s.
I think then probably like narratively, it's like you go at the table and you lose a bunch of hands, and you're like, not what I wanted to do, and so you like go and you take your like, last cred. Yeah,
you go to the ATM. You never go to the ATM at the casino. You never do that.
Good idea.
Anyways, sorry. Back to John. Oh, I rolled a 3, but back to John.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled double 6s. So amazing.
Whoa,
Bones.
that's great. So that is actually an crew quality +2. So this is a tier 3 essentially. Expert in the Hantu Gate. It's about as high as it can go.
Yeah. So like we find the head of the history department just happens to be available for impromptu meeting,
and they are not the foremost expert on the Hantu Gate and jump gates, but they're a well respected expert on jump gates, and has done some work specifically on the Hantu Gate. What are you just want more information about the Hantu Gate?
If we're sort of condensing but possible interactions, then like the requests are themed around when the gate was open, last, how it closed, things like that.
Yes. Okay. Hold on.
No problem. The answer is that they shut the gate down because of taxes. It's an infrastructure challenge. We just couldn't fund new roads, new bridges.
I just had an idea for a long-term project.
Ooh. Is it a secret idea?
No, not any more secret than things I've already said. I think Graves is technically the only one who actually knows the extent of Leto's past that Graves knows. And so there'd be no reason to keep it secret from Graves, but I'll hold on to it until
for an in-character moment. Yeah.
You meet this professor, and he's like, lovely to find someone else interested in the Hantu Gate. I don't have. Yes. Let me see. And he starts grabbing scrolls off of. It's made out of a condensed alloy. Well, you think a condensed alloy. We wouldn't have been able to quite pinpoint the exact composition. Sorry, you wanted to know when it was used? Yes, last. Yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
and how it closed.
Yes, that would be a mystery that the world has been wondering for quite some time. No one is quite sure when it was closed. Unfortunately, it has been a very long time since it's been closed. As long as hegemony has been here in the Procyon sector, it has been closed and has not been reopened. There have been rumors that House Malcleith is trying to find a way to open it again, but nothing has been fruitful as of yet.
No records before the hegemony?
Let me see. And he is just grabbing a bunch of scrolls off of the table. And
while he does, I lean into Leto, and it's I don't like the way he talks. It's terrible.
It's the curse of education. Forgive him.
If I read all these books, will I talk like that?
No. You weren't burdened with an early education. You're fine, my friend.
Good.
He's laying out a bunch of scrolls. None look terribly interesting. He's like, oh, wait, hold on. And he grabs one and pulls it open. And it's he pulls it out and slams it down onto the desk in front of you. And it's a very old star map of the Procyon sector. This doesn't have anything to do with a Hantu Gate. It's mentioned once or twice in this entire book. But this has always particularly interested me. And he points to this map, and you can see that there are sort of lines that are crisscrossing and connecting to different points, but none of them are any jump gate lines. But the Hantu Gate is connected to Voss and Mem, and what used to be Gap, and then it is also connected to Amarith, and that's fun, Shemaya. So there are 5 connections to the Hantu Gate, and then each of those 5 connections are also connected to 13 spaces. And now that you're here, you can see that it's the 13 moons around nightfall. And so this professor is like, this has always struck me as quite strange. There's a Haunted Gate here, I believe, and then I believe that these are Voss, Mem, Amarith, Gap, what used to be Gap, and Shemaya here, and they're also connected to these 13 moons around nightfall. No one has been able to figure out exactly what the connection between all of these things are. That's it. It is a mystery, unfortunately. Probably one we'll never answer, but alas, such is academia, yes?
Staring at the star map, Graves just points at the Hantu Gate and looks at Leto, ignoring the professor at this point now that he's heard what he was,
He's rank. He doesn't even know that you're not paying attention. He's just still talking.
I'd look at Leto and say, I think my people, most of them, are behind this gate.
And so you intend to make it through?
Yes.
Then I will do what I can to help.
Justin,
Yes.
the helm that you described, I think you said it was a wreath on one of my ancestors' heads.
I did.
Did it bear any resemblance to the
wreath
Thetis's
well, so there's
the other object of night,
and Gears has the wreath of night.
So Gears has the wreath of night.
Gears has
it's with him pretty consistently. He's not wearing it all the time.
Okay, yeah, this is rocking it,
my friend.
Yeah.
It is a 1-for-1.
Okay, this is a Nick question now. Were the gems in it?
You did not see them because you saw him from the back.
Did the cape look like Thetis's cloak?
The cape looked exactly like Thetis's cloak.
Okay.
So we know where there are two pieces of the raiment of night right now.
Dang.
Assuming that that's what that guy was wearing. I feel like there's no way that's not what was on.
Yeah. While the professor is rambling, I'll also add. I'll say to Leto, and my ancestor was wearing the wreath of night and the cloak.
That is curious.
What is it called, Justin? The raiment?
The raiment of night.
Yeah.
Seems like you had some powerful ancestors.
Well, we knew that.
That we did. Well, Professor, thank you for this enlightenment on the Hantu Gate. I do have one more question for you.
Yes, and we've tried to test it with the temperature, and it does. Oh, sorry. Yes, I was just rambling. What? You have another question for me?
Yes, it is not about the gate, if that's all right.
Oh, sure. Yes. What?
I assume, as a professor of history, you're familiar with the noble houses of the hegemony.
Yes,
particularly in the core worlds, right?
Yes, yes.
Has there ever been an example of a noble who lost their status, maybe presumed dead, reclaiming their place in the house?
No, not that I know of off the top of my head. Get 1 moment, and he goes up and grabs a bunch of other scrolls. And let's see. He pulls open a scroll. Oh, that's a fun way to connect it. This is a unofficial history of some of the houses. It was written not by anyone commissioned directly by the hegemon. It seems to have been written anonymously. It is. There are some stories in it that are quite interesting. We've never been able to figure out who the author is, but some people think that he might be hiding somewhere on the desert planet of Shemaya.
Interesting. And as far as recent history is concerned, I have a academic interest in the noble houses, you see, and I'm curious if you can tell me anything of Praxis of House Thorn.
Praxis of House Thorn, yes. Let me... And he pulls up another one. Yes, it appears that he has been lost. Oh, interesting. That doesn't come up quite often. Well, sometimes it means they went out on some charge from their family and embarrassed them to a great extent and did not want that embarrassment to come back to the family. Yes, it appears within the last few years he has disappeared.
Thank you, Professor. Do you have contacts at the universities in the core worlds?
Depends on... Yes, it will take some time. Do you need more information on something?
No, I was actually wondering if you'd be willing to pass a piece of information for me.
Oh, yes, sure. Please.
I find that academic channels tends to be a little bit more reliable and a little bit less tampered with than some of the other channels we have. Would you see if one of your colleagues could get a word to House Thorn?
I would imagine. I can't imagine that'd be terribly hard. What do you want to pass on?
I would like for you to let them know that Praxis is alive. Yeah, he is not lost, and he will return. And when he returns, there will be changes.
Sort of the bluster. Yes, yeah, I suppose. Quite strange message, but if that's what you want to convey, I yes.
Yes, Professor. I expect you're a man who is capable of keeping secrets, yes?
It depends on if they have any sort of academic use. I feel like you have to qualify your terms. Sort of personal secrets, absolutely. I'm closed vault. If it would have any impact on academia at all, I would be required as a professor to make sure that research is proliferated amongst the core worlds.
I will tell you someday that this piece of information will be academically valuable, but it isn't today. It's personal today.
Well, then today I can keep it.
I am Praxis of House Thorn. And I am going to change the hegemony forever. Thank you for your time, sir.
Doesn't say anything. Just completely flabbergasted as you walk out.
Let's go, Graves.
Graves steals a book on the way out. Just random book.
Incredible.
It is you know what? I'm not even gonna roll. I'll just tell you. This is funny. It is a book on metallurgy. Like so
Yes.
dry, but like it is on like the different temperatures at which one can melt.
It's a cookbook for Graves.
Oh yeah. Yo, that's riveting.
Oh, that's funny.
That's really funny. One time I was at a hotel and I literally was like just wandering around because I wanted to have a little walk. Saw those like books that are just for show in like sections of the hotel and like picked one up and opened it. And it was just like a history of records of transactions of steel.
Oh, how weird.
And I was like, how did they even find this?
Graves would be like, this is the best book I've ever read.
Exactly. It's like, this is so cool.
Justin, coming off of that conversation, I would like to start a long-term project.
What is the long-term project you want to start? I love it.
I want to start a long-term project to get back in touch with my family. I'll probably have to say this again, but I'll finish for you guys. I want to get back in touch with Praxis family, with House Thorn, and do what I need to clear my name.
That's going to be good.
Clear your name.
Yep. Get in touch with House Thorn and clear my name.
I do. Let's do it. Let's. Well, the getting in touch, I feel like you can just accomplish, right? Like you've already kind of set that up. It's easy to like. Or you personally want to get in touch with them?
Yeah. Like eventually, like I want to like set the stage for it to be a welcome reunion and not a shameful one. And so I think that will require some work. For sure. Might require me to clear my name before I talk to them.
Okay. I think we'll wrap it all up in one clock called clear Praxis's name.
Cool.
Is it too grand to suggest that I have a long-term project of reopening the Hantu Gate? Like, is that like even possible? Like a 32 segment clock or something?
It is possible. I think we're gonna have to start with something a little bit more attainable and work our way up to, right? Because like just saying like restart the Hantu Gate, you're like,
Yeah.
We're
need
start
to
a clock
discover
for destroying the
how and
hegemony.
Maybe it starts with a clock of like learn how and why the Hantu Gate closed.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, let's start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna create. I think this is a big clock. Leo.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking like 14 segments. I think it's gonna take some time to clear your name.
Yeah. My goodman, I'm going to use my flame given name. It's Praxis now.
Okay. I love it.
Flame name.
Now.
It is time for the flames to eat the falsehoods, as the church would say.
Do you want to roll? What are you doing first off to...
I think first off, I am. I think might use some of my contacts just to collect whatever information has been, because I don't actually know. So I want to collect what information has been reported about what happened to my fiance.
I love it.
And practice his part in that.
Okay. What action do you think that is?
I think because I'm wanting to do it via my contacts, I think it's a consort. But
I accept.
Okay.
So that makes sense.
A 5 is my high roll.
Okay, so that's 2 off of that.
Amazing.
Yeah, you start getting like a little information. Nothing super concrete quite yet, but like you've gotten like you're at least like we'll say this. We'll say like you're pointed in the right direction for like who to talk to get that information.
Awesome.
Yep. Graves, you said you wanted to start a long-term project too?
Yeah, I think it's worth mechanically representing this, trying to discover why the Hantu Gate closed, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, discover why the Hantu Gate closed. I'm gonna make this 8 segments.
Okay. And is there any mechanical thing here then?
Yeah, you have to tell me. Yeah, you're doing a long-term project, so you're telling me what action you're gonna use to start accomplishing that, and you're gonna roll.
Yeah, and just so I know, we're treating the professor conversation just as setup for this. That doesn't count as anything towards this.
Correct, but perhaps studying the map that he showed you. Maybe he let you like take a picture of it, or on your holo tablet. So certainly studying that map might be a place, or trying to study more about like why are there these connections between the Hantu Gate and these places.
Yeah,
you could take it any way you want to. You could try and beat the information out of somebody. You could go back to the professor and try and beat the information out of him.
Yeah, I'm wondering. So I'm seeing in these like 13 connections to the 13 moons that are right around us because they're the moons of nightfall. Those 13 things are marked as being connected on the map all back to the gate.
They are actually connected
right?
to the 5 planets that I mentioned.
So all 13 have 13 lines running from them to each of those 5 points.
Correct. It's almost like a prism, right? Like the 13 lines from the planets come to a single point, and then that single point branches out to the 5. And then those 5 are all connected to the Hantu Gate.
That's so interesting. Oh, yeah, not knowing what to do with that yet. I think the first thing is, studying a hologram of the map.
Okay.
Just taking it home, cozying up with it. Alternating between the map and my delicious metallurgy cookbook.
It sounds like maybe a study to me, unless you've got something else.
Yep. And so, do I just do a normal roll then? Or are you going to give me position and effect for that?
Just normal roll.
Okay, so how many dice? Just however many pips I have?
Correct.
I'm not the best student, I've got to say. I have 0 pips in study, so I just take the lesser of 2 die.
Yep. And remember, if you have a cred and want to spend it, you could up your result. So if you roll a
I
1
do
to
not
3,
have an available cred.
okay, well then it's
I stashed them.
Unfortunately,
6-5.
Wow. Okay, so with a 5, you're
5?
still, yeah, so 5. So you're still doing 2. I will give you this. First off, that's impressive. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. I studied something. Graves.
It's amazing what you can study when you're like interested in the topic.
It's true.
I'll just put some thoughts out there, and you can latch on to what you want to latch on to. You've now heard. You've just had this job where a beam of light. I don't know if Praxis or Gears mentioned this to you, but the beam of light getting split up into 13 beams of light that all went to the moons of Nightfall. That's ringing a bell. You also, in your vision, saw the planet of Voss and Mem, and the fact that the professor mentioned that that's one of the 5 planets. Here is another, like, what's going on there? Maybe there's something on the planet of Voss or Mem that is interesting to study. I think those might be, like, as you're studying, those would be the things you're like, this might be my next lead.
Well, yeah, I'm wondering about, so the Wreath of Night that we have is gemless? Is that right?
Gemless, yep.
Okay. And so I think Graves' mind goes towards Voss.
Okay.
As a place that was famous for making gems.
Yeah.
And the tower that he saw.
Yeah.
And he's wondering if there's a tower on all 5 of those planets that connects to the gate. But at first he just wants to go where he knows there's a tower and possibly gems. So that's at least an intention, but that's just a distillation of some of this stuff.
For sure.
So I get 2 segments on that clock?
I have
Is that right?
of 2 segments on that call.
Thank you.
I think we still have a few downtimes to go. I think Havoc has 2 and Gears.
Yeesh.
Graves has 1. If you've got them locked and loaded, let me know.
Oh, I think I do.
Okay. Let's try and I'd love to get through the downtime activities and present the jobs to you, and then you can think about it and next week choose.
Okay. So I think first what happens while Gears is out gambling and Graves and now Praxis is doing their acquiring assets.
Yep.
Havoc will still in the cockpit give Yatsu a ring.
Okay. Ah, Havoc, my boy. Why are you calling this time?
You always answer like you're surprised though. Like a guttural every time. It throws me off.
Like to make people guess.
All right.
Was I just sitting here? Was I doing pottery before? Was I relaxing as your friend told me to do? Gotta keep people on their toes, Havoc. Write that down.
You prove a point. I just have a question actually.
Yep.
Considering when you found me, well, I guess it'd be Maris.
Okay.
As a child in Warren. Don't ask me how I know this, but I had something on my person.
How do you know this?
A really good memory, Yati.
Okay. All right.
I just unlocked it, I had a healthy breakfast this morning.
You're wondering what happened to it?
Well, yes.
I'll tell you what, Havoc. I've got a job for you and your crew. You come hear the job out, and I will give you back what we found on you. I have to find it. We stored it away somewhere. I'm not quite sure where it is, but it is.
Well, why can't you just tell me what is right now over the communicator?
I can. I will. You had a bag, this little satin bag, and it had 3 gemstones in it. That was it.
A satin bag with 3 gemstones. Havoc is really trying to rack his mind. He can't for the life of him remember what those were. And so he's like, huh. So were they like of value or anything? They were just valuable gemstones.
Maris wanted to sell it for cash. I said we should hold on to it in case you wanted it one day.
Guess I wanted it one day. All right.
Well, they were found on you. I assumed. That's not always how it works. Some weird thing a child orphan is holding. Eventually, it becomes important.
Oh, I guess yeah. It's countless times throughout history.
Yeah, I was reading that in this
familiar with his tropes.
The latest Assassin's Creed book had something like that.
Oh yes, the Assassin's Creed books. I love those.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. All right. So you're telling me that if me and my crew do a job for you, then you'll find and give me back the things that I already had.
No, I
You found me.
It sounds like I'm holding it hostage. It was more that I'm gonna have to take some time to find where I put them.
Oh, okay, all right.
And if in the meantime, while I'm doing that, you would be so kind, Havoc, to do me a favor and do this job for us.
Well, I mean, I can't say no to you, Yatu. I'll do a job for you.
That's good. It's gonna be a tough one. We need you to steal the governor.
Jesus Christ. We already stole a clone of the governor.
Well, yeah, we need you to replace the governor with the clone.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
I understand. Talk about it with your crew.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk
It's
about it.
gonna be
with my
tough. We
crew.
can. I've got 10 cred though.
Oh my god. Trying his best to keep a poker face over the phone.
Yeah.
Like you're having to go, all right, I'm gonna talk to my crew. I'll get back to you, Yatu.
All right. I'll be waiting to hear from you.
All right. Thank you. I don't know if there's really anything in there that would suffice to roll.
I'm comfortable. Yeah, the indulgence
You're
of ice.
comfortable
I
with it?
think it's fine. Yeah, talking about
Okay,
it with him.
obligation.
Still, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Because you haven't told any of them about what you saw.
True, yeah, true. Okay, I rolled a 1.
Yes, just
But because Havoc's
yeah.
a hedonist,
you can up it by 2.
I can increase that by 2. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
there
go
you
to
go.
3 vice. And I think before Havoc talks to the crew, I think just with everything he's seen, with that memory, and learning what they are, I think Havoc, and maybe in the back of his head, was like slightly remembering talks of the arraignment of night. So like, and also the first time he's ever seen what he thinks is his mother. All these things he just wants to cover up with some drinking and gambling. So I think he's gonna go to a casino
and just indulge vice again. All right.
Yeah.
And you couldn't go with me.
I'm sorry. I think he's specifically avoiding the one that Gears went to.
For sure. You need some alone time. I get it. Some solo
Yeah.
gambling. Go ahead and indulge your vice.
Yes. I think if I roll anything but a 6, if I roll 5 or lower, then I'm safe from overindulging. But if I roll a 6, I'm pretty much fucked.
You're probably fine. Did you roll a 6?
Yeah, I rolled a 6.
You can lower it by 2, right?
I can lower it by 2, but that still brings me to 4, and I only have 3 stress remaining.
Oh yeah. So then yeah, you are gonna overindulge. I love it.
God.
That was literally the only roll.
90% of our time playing this game, you want to roll high.
I know. So you can choose to do a rash action, which is reduce your stash by 4. If you can't or won't, the crew takes 2 debt. You can do big talk, brag about your exploits. The crew gains 2 heat in the current system, or lost. Your character vanishes for a few weeks.
Yeah. I feel like one sucks for me. The other sucks for all of us.
I mean, yeah.
I think this. Oh, Steve needed to go.
He did.
Oh, he really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the two heat in the current system, would that be in the system that we had the job, or the system that we are doing the down? Yeah, it would be the downtime in.
Yes.
So it would be 2 in Breck.
Yes.
Well, that wouldn't technically put us in wanted, or would it?
Yeah.
Is heat at 8 or is it?
I
10?
think.
What is it,
All
10?
right. I'm gonna narrate a scene.
Okay.
All right.
So we see Havoc. This was also gonna annoy you guys though. We see Havoc gambling and drinking, and not doing really too great at gambling, so then drinking more. And like we see him sort of like we like cut to a scene of him sitting at the bar, and he's just like thinking, just remembering over and over that vision that he had from the Ashtari. And I think somehow we have like, do we have like pagers of some kind? We have like something that we can use to like
communicators.
You communicate.
Yeah.
You can send a message on it.
Yeah, he'll send a message to Gears with giving Yatu's the method to contact Yatu, a way to contact Yatu.
Mm-hmm.
And all it says is Yatu has a 10 cred job for us. And he'll send that, and then he'll stand up and sort of like wobbling side to side as he's walking out of the casino. We see this young, wealthy-looking couple land, like take like a ship and like park it outside the casino and get out. And then Havoc just cuts off the valet and hops in the car and just jets away.
Just leaves.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Havoc is gone for some time then. Wild. All right.
Never hop behind the wheel if you have had a lot to drink, kids.
That's true. Don't drink and drive, people. That's very dangerous. We'll have to get to Steve's less downtime activity next time. He had to just bounce. So there is one. I'd like to set up the third potential job that I think that I have. And so there's one the Yatu gave. There's I think there is one in what Gears knows as well too. So I'll say that I think that with this interest in like ruins, Rondon Towers, perhaps you could get Zelrek to give you some cred if you go explore them for him. So I think that's definitely a potential job as well. The last thing is Praxis. As you're like, you know what too? I think maybe now that like you've started to accept that name a bit more, and people are maybe starting to make that connection between Lido and Praxis. One of your contacts at the Counters Guild, which is the second faction that you started a +1 status with at the start of the game, reaches out, and it is all they don't want to talk over the phone because they're afraid somebody's listening. So it's an encrypted message that says, come here if you're interested in accepting the job. We'll meet you here and go over any other details you want to know. But it details how there have been a lot of chatter between the Starsmiths Guild and the Guild of Engineers about an experiment that they locked away, that they are now about to open up again, that will change everything. Now, the Counters Guild is actually an enemy of the Guild of Engineers. So they do not want either of these two guilds to have that much power within the hegemony. So they want to hire your crew to break into the Counters Guild's headquarters on Warren, make your way to the Shadow Vaults, and steal the item of this experiment.
Mm.
They obviously don't want anyone to know that you're officially hiring them. That's why it's encrypted. But they don't want the guilds to have this.
Awesome.
I will say that this is also pretty risky, so I'll say that this is also a 10 crit job.
Okay. Dope.
Now, how do we do both and get 20 crit?
You have to choose. You have to choose. All right, friends. Thanks for hanging out a little bit longer. We'll go over those jobs again at the top, and we'll go over Graves' last downtime episode or action. Thank you so much for listening. It's all starting to come together, I think. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Thank you all for listening. We hope that, if you're interested, feel free to support us on Patreon. It's how we get to feel like we have the space to tell more stories. The Forge is coming up this week. If you're a Patreon listener, you get access to the audio of that, and if you catch us when we're streaming it, you'll get to watch that then too. But if you want to listen to it again, gots to support us on Patreon at any level. So $1 a month, that is less than a cup of coffee, is incredible. That's a value. I think that's a steal. So
I agree.
I think it's still.
Yeah,
thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.